Hello everyone, welcome to another race with Mo Allen. Today I'll be racing the Stage 1 Fresh Outta 24B race, or Zwift racing score between 520 and 690. Coming into this race, my racing score was 536, and after this race, we'll stick around to see little cliffhanger for what the change in racing score was, if any. So here we are, starting out right off the bat. Couple riders a little bit off the front, I guess one off the front there. Not trying to chase down small groups or single riders. Just trying to sit in here. It's 36 riders to start. I believe there are other riders on the course, not in our category. The pen start times for the various racing scores were 1 minute apart, so this race started 1 minute after 10 minutes after the hour, otherwise known as 11 minutes after the hour. So here we are, first little test, little bump here just to see what the group is doing. See some people putting out 7 watts a kilogram there, but mainly between 4 and 5-ish. So just trying to stay seated here, stay controlled. Strategy overall, just stay with the front group as long as I could. I did recon for this race, not as a ride, but watching someone else's race on YouTube for this same exact stage. So I was familiar with the route profile. I had never done this triple twists route before, but watching the video, I was not surprised, except for at the end, actually. You'll see me notice at the end, or mention at the end, that I forgot there was a part of the route that was there. Anyway, right here, just staying with the group. I knew that we had the Jarvis Island KOM, the two little separate climbs there, as what I thought, again, forgetting about the end, what I thought was the main climbing challenge in this ride. So I knew everything else was kind of short and punchy. Got a short climb up the volcano, up towards the volcano, a couple other short climbs, but I forgot about the end of it. So strategy for the climbs is just to stay with the group. It's interesting looking at this now. Those riders up front, I'm not sure if they are, it looks like there's 3 of them. Not sure if they're part of this group. I think they are, actually, at this point. Or we're catching riders from the group that started a minute before us. I'm not actually sure. So I'm just sitting in here. You'll see that I probably, in this group at this point, could be a little further back in the draft to save. I mean, we're 3 minutes and 40 seconds in, and I'm averaging 349 watts, which is quite high. You see it stringing out here. So I'm looking forward to it getting settled down and just trying to keep contact, not work too hard. You can see here people fighting to stay up front, and so am I, using the power up here, knowing that I'll get another one after this banner. So here we are approaching the Jarvis KOM. So I knew this was going to be the first test just to see how the group is behaving. Got one rider up front there. Again, I don't know if they're from this group or the group ahead. I don't know if it's just me, but so you see I'm number 2 there. It's kind of odd the way that the places are jumping around, right? It says 8th, 14th, 7th, 13th, 5th, 11th. That seems like a bug to me because look, 5th, 3rd, something seems odd there, right? Like, why is it jumping around that much? It doesn't help that my confidence is shot from being able. I was going to mention that I feel like I'm not that great at figuring out which riders up front are with the group, and the way that rider list is behaving in terms of the positions seems off to me. Anyway, made it up that first little bump in 8th place or 6th place or 5th place or 7th place, someplace. But you can see a couple riders off the front there, and I'm just gearing up, getting ready for hitting the power up here on this one. I know people are gonna wind up with high power on this next one, so just getting ready to stand up here and put down the power and just make it up and over. I think you'll see that. So there I go, standing up, hitting the power up over 500 watts here. I probably get up to over 600, I believe. Yeah, there you go, 600, which for me is 7.7 watts a kilogram. So up over 700 there. So I let off a little early here. I do catch back up with the group, but here sitting back down and going back down under 500 watts while some people are still pushing up front. This ride, my legs felt okay. During the end, you'll see that I have some moments of weakness, or just the reality of my fitness rearing its head. You know, it is what it is. But at this point, well, I shouldn't say, I was going to say you never know, which definitely isn't, well, most likely isn't the case here, that you don't know what the category of the riders who are with you are, but that's absolutely not true. That's true for group rides. In this one, you know, the range is fairly high, from 520 to 690, I think 520, in terms of the Zwift racing score. But, and me sitting right at the lower end of that. If there are people at the higher end of that, then, you know, there's some disparity there. But it's not like I looked at the rider list a couple hours before I joined when I registered, just to see if I noticed any names. I don't believe I did. R Barnes up there sounds familiar, but otherwise everyone was new to me and didn't really know what to expect in terms of the capabilities of the riders. So here, hurting a little bit, 178 beats a minute. After 11 minutes in, 360 watt average, obviously inflated by those jumps in wattage up the hills there, but definitely looking forward to this decline and getting some recovery before the next test. So here we are, the next little bump, going up into the volcano. Trying to stay seated here, just stay with the front of the group. I've said it before in previous videos, but I will often, if I'm feeling strong enough, want to be towards the front of the group or in the front. I'm not ever in the very front for any of these climbs on this race, I don't believe, but I like to be at the front just to not have to chase from behind on the climb, since my 95 kilogram weight will make it more difficult. So I like to climb up front on my own terms sometimes. I know maybe it burns a little more matches, but mentally being up front and not having to chase from behind is often preferable. One of the things about being up front, like doing that though, is that one of the other areas I could work on is anticipating the people coming from behind through the group and staying with them, right? Winding up the watts before they come to latch on, rather than having to put in a dig just to get back on when they surge through the group. But I'm getting better at that as well. So here we are with the next little test, which is the S's. Several little peaks and valleys. See some riders winding up. I think I get a little behind here, a little caught out, if I remember correctly. Maybe I was either drinking or wiping myself with a towel or something, and I got caught out a little bit here. Let's see if that's true. That's what I remember. But so winding up the watts here on the back of the group. Not in too much danger on these little S's here, but just trying to keep contact. Two riders off the front there. I'm not sure if there's anyone in front of them at this point. Here we are, up and over the last little effort here. Keeping the watts up, staying with the group down the descent. Took a little break there, stopped pedaling. I know usually here my weight will drag me through the group and through the sprint. So I've gotten better at backing off here. You can see me already getting up towards the front of the group here. And there I go to the front. And here I believe is a place where so there you go. When I see riders surging through, you can see me standing up and putting on the power because I get a little antsy that I'm gonna lose someone coming through. Not the case here, but I don't even think I was looking at the rider list for the riders behind, but stayed attached here, so happy with that. So it's about here, when we did not make this right-hand turn, that I remembered that there was the reverse hilly comb as part of this route. I did not remember that when I started, even though I watched the video of someone else's ride not too long before this. I should have maybe had some notes available for the route profile or some other way to reference the route profile, but here we go. So now I'm mentally preparing for this climb. Legs are definitely feeling it at this point. 327 watt average after 20 minutes. Again, my FDP I think is 323, but that is no doubt out of date. That's from a while ago before I regained my fitness. So if I had to guess, it's lower than that. So this average for 20 minutes is quite high. So here I'm just thinking, all right, I'm gonna save the power up for the steepest part of the little climb here. It's a short climb. Power up is not one of the ones that last as long. So I'm gonna try to stay seated to start the climb, winding up over 400 watts here. I'm watching the group and getting ready to see what kind of effort to put in, standing up here, over 500 watts, holding on the power up. I think I pop it after we turn the corner here. Legs are definitely feeling it. Pop the power up, but the group is slowly getting away from me there, even though I'm up over 600 watts. At this point, I sit back down here, and that's kind of where I let things go. Again, I could have put in a dig to stay with that group, and who knows what would have happened. I could have been with them on this little descent, and who knows what would happen the next incline, this one right here. But that's where that group gets away from me, right? So 18th place here with one other rider, McLaughlin, and Estelle. Group ahead, one rider, 2 seconds, but the group is 6 seconds ahead. And we got a couple riders, 13 and 19 seconds, 13 and 20 seconds behind us. So this group of three with Dell, and now catching up to Kravenov here. This is the group potentially at this point. I'm thinking this is the group potentially to the end. Group ahead, 9 seconds away now. We got Leach behind us, putting in a dig. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure Leach never gets up to us. I take a little break here. Potentially, Kravenov takes a little break as well, but in my mind, I'm resigned to maybe not even getting back to these two riders, although I do. But so here I'm just trying to mentally recover, physically recover as much as I can. 330 watt average for 25 minutes now, 178 beats. Definitely feeling it. 7 kilometers to go, so still about 10 minutes left to race for me. And now just trying to see if I can stick with these two riders. And so here you can see the little gap to the two riders, Estelle and Kravenov, and that gap grows. And again, I think the elastic has broken here, and I'm thinking, okay, I'll just try to finish this last little bit of the reverse comm as best I can. Watching the watts of the riders ahead, they're not consistently putting out much more power, but 2 seconds ahead now. And I'm thinking I may not see them again, and potentially will hook up onto the wheel of Leach behind me, or it would be a solo effort to the end. That's what my mindset is at this point as we crest this last little bit of the climb. So it's here at the bottom of the climb that I noticed that I got back a second on the two riders up front, and they're close, and I'm thinking, oh, and here they come, 1 second. I'm thinking, okay, let me hook back on. So I put in a dig here to catch back up to them. And I didn't know if this was, at this point, if this was going to be successful, but I figured I would try, and I was able to get back up to them, which was heartening. And so with a group of riders 23 seconds ahead of us, and then a group or a single rider 14 seconds, and then 19 seconds, and then several single riders behind us, with 4.6 kilometers to go at this point. I'm thinking that this is the group I'm going to finish with, so now I'm just adjusting to see what the tactics of these two riders are. So here is an interesting point, right? You'll see that I go to the front and I start to pull. I decided here that with a group of 3 riders 14 seconds behind us, and Kravenov and Dell sitting in, that it would be better for me to try to keep that group behind us away, and they were pushing sort of higher watts. Keep that group of 3 riders behind us away until the finish, so that I only had 2 people to contend with in the sprint finish rather than 5. and get into, at worst, 19th place rather than, 23rd or 24th place or whatever. Or I guess 21st or 22nd place. So here I decide that I'm gonna push to the end, see if maybe either of these riders wanted to take a pool. 2 kilometers left here. I believe I choose to pop the featherweight there just to get a bit of a boost. Now I'm gonna get one last one through this banner here. And so I'm up over 340 watts here, just trying to keep those riders away. So when I first started pulling, those riders were 15 seconds away, and now they're 9 seconds away. So at this point, I'm questioning my choice as to whether or not this was the right thing to do. Got 1.6 kilometers left here. And I was wondering at this point if I was going to keep them away. Looking at their watts there, when I saw that a bunch of them went over 4 to 5 watts a kilogram, I'm thinking, oh, maybe I should sit up and just let the group get back together and regather for the sprint. But I decide to continue on here and push. 1.2 kilometers away, still 9 seconds now. And so now I'm starting to think, getting under 1 kilometer to go is a big mental boost for me. That's like a milestone. So when I see 1 kilometer and still that 9 seconds, I'm thinking now, okay, I made the right choice, and let me just keep on the watts until a little longer. I think in my mind, I'm thinking I'll keep on it until maybe half a kilometer to go. I lay off here. So let another rider come through, and the group behind still 8, 9, 10 seconds with 0.7 kilometers to go. Now I'm just trying to draft and get ready for a sprint. So here we go with the sprint. I was really feeling it here. I feel like I had a good sprint. Didn't have my head down. I'm actually looking at the screen the whole time, which is not typical for me. Glad that I passed right here, but just a couple more pedal strokes and oh, the rider got me right on the line. So close. But overall, good ride. 35-32 for the ride. 3.4 watts per kilogram average, 326 watts. Again, quite high route badge. But yeah, good race for going into Thanksgiving. So I appreciate you all watching, appreciate the support. Have a good holiday, and I will be back with another ride.